critical point. For the temperature you got 270.29 and the pressure is 4.6277 Newton per mercury. So now from the data you can actually make out what is the sublimation regime, melting regime, and the liquid vapor, that's a evaporation regime. So much we have talked about the pure substance. What we have finished so far, we have started from the pure substance. That means entire thermodynamics I can teach in a glass of water. One glass of water I take pure substance. We need to have property, density, specific volume, pressure, temperature, intensity properties, extensive properties. We also have specific properties. Okay. And then we heat up the water from the bottom, and the equilibrium we can see the two phases, vapor and liquid. So we have liquid, water, and vapor. And that system also you have analyzed pure single component, pure substance. We have the liquid vapor equilibrium. At particular temperature, what is saturation pressure? We have written. So if the temperature is given, we will know that okay, this is saturation pressure. That is the pressure it has to be maintained. System pressure, saturation pressure. Okay. That particular pressure is vapor equilibrium. If temperature is different, pressure is different. And we know how the pressure is changing with temperature by Clausius-Capital equation. So this has been finished. Okay. Now with water, I am putting some other material, some other liquid, maybe ethyl alcohol, some other things. So what will happen if I put ethyl alcohol? This is a multi-component substance. So multi-component single phase. Then again you heat up. You have the vapor. So you have multi-component, multi-phase. That's the next step. Okay? That's almost the end of your thermodynamics course. And the lastly, what we will do that we will take a single phase and asking whatever the components we have the reaction. If they react, what actually will happen? What is the role of thermodynamics on chemical reaction, or the vice versa? So that will end the entire course. So entire course you can view as the glass of water and how it is changing with single component and multi-component. So single component has been done. Now we will be talking about the multi-component single phase, like water ethyl alcohol system, or we call as mixture thermodynamics. Mixture thermodynamics. We will start talking about the mixture thermodynamics. For the mixture, what are the extra things we have to talk about? We will start from the fundamentals. That is our combined first and second law. And we'll see how things will change if you have mixture. In that case, you will appreciate better. So if you want, you can have your whole thermodynamics book, notebook handy right now. I compare every step with your whole thermodynamics notebook, your substance. In that case, you will really appreciate. So please make it handy. So you should have, or if you have the same notebook, you just keep the page active so that you can actually browse through the pages and see that. For the mixture, we have summation xi equals to 1, I equals to 1 to C number of components, mole fraction is xi. Total mole fraction, sum of the mole fractions equals to 1. That we know. Sum of the mole fraction equals to 1. So this is treated as an equation. Summation xi equals to 1. Okay. But when you talk about the specific property, pure substance, I will compare every step pure substance and multi-component substance. Pure substance we have U hat SV. How it will be changed for multi-component? Pure substance we had U equals to U at S. We have seen it. It is there in your notebook. Pardon? What will happen for the multi-component? U equals to U hat SV. I am just listening SV. If I write SV, If I just said S doesn't make sense. U equals to you had S V D X. What?
N.
Where is it? I have not defined N here.
X.
X. Xi. Are you sure? Then how many total variables you have? Total how many variables you have? You have only 2 variables. How many total variables you have? 3 variables. They go and apply the brain. You have that. Don't make it a fish market. Don't just like I say Xi is a one variable. Apply. You have the brain. I'm sure. You have the brain. If there are 10 components, still will be 3. Then what component you will take? Third component only, or 5th component, or 10th component, what component you will take? If you have 10 number of components, C is number of components. Then how many total variables? You can get me the answer. How many total variables will be there? You don't get it? Get my question? My God, what language? I cannot talk any other language. I cannot talk in Hindi, and no other regional language is allowed. C is number of components. I have to go to real kindergarten level. You are doing PhD, mind it. You are not doing BTech or something. MTech levels are not, and we are not based on BTech guys. Okay, sometimes you are in PG level course. Number of points, saying 10 components. Is still 3.
So C components, so it will be C plus 2.
Again, you are not applying the brain. If I have x1 plus x2 plus x3 equals to 1, how many independent unknowns you have? Only D.
So C minus 1.
No. I am asking here the question. You first get me the answer. How many independent unknowns you have?
Independent is
You are taking math course. Mathematics goes into engineering. How many independent unknowns you have?
sir, if
I am asking a question number. Don't give any kind of argument. Then I am getting delayed. You have the numbers 3, 2, 1. Don't look at them. If you don't know, it's okay. You are excused. You don't know, right?
sir,
No. Just please don't tell me stories. I am sorry. You are telling me stories. You know the answer? 3, 2, 1, 0. First get me the answer. Don't give me stories.
no, it is independent.
Again you are giving me stories. Sorry, I cannot accept. Anybody else? Please don't tell stories. If you tell like I don't know. In the company, if you talk, you are fired. I am sorry to say that. I want the point to point. You are just independent. If you don't understand my English, I am sorry. I cannot be more clear in English. My English is wrong, maybe. I apologize for my English. Next, anybody? x1 plus x2 plus x3 equals to 1. How many independent unknowns you have? Just wait. I just want the answer on the hand. Yes? 2 independent unknowns. That's right. Why? Because x3 can be written as, please don't. 1 minus x1 minus x2. Okay, when x1, x2 are determined, x3 is dependent on, x3 cannot be determined independently. Okay, you have the brain, I am telling you. You have the brain. So, for this, what will be the correct way? What is the correct way to write? If I have 2, 3 components, what should I write? S, B, S, comma, B, comma, 3 components. I just want the hand. Only 2. I know that you are on reserve. If I need any your help, I'll ask. Let somebody else can tell me. You want to volunteer, okay? How many? I had 3 components. What will be the variables? S, V, comma,
x1 and x2.
yes, sir. So for C components, x C minus 1. So easy. So total how many independent variables? 1, 2, C minus 1 plus 2. How much it is coming? C plus 1 independent unknowns. So we have here we have x1 to xc minus 1 are independent variables. And by now we know what are called independent variables. Okay? I'm sure this kind of concept was there. Have you done null space? Null space basis in mathematics? Yes or no? This is a null space problem. this in null space? x1 equals to alpha, x2 equals to beta, and x3 equals to minus alpha minus beta. So my solution is alpha am I correct? Dimension of null space is 2. I'm sure it has been done in the class, math class. Yes, that's what I'm asking. You are taking math class and you don't know how to have independent unknowns. This is dimension of null space, alpha and beta, correct? And if you look at the solution, yes, alpha, x1 is alpha, x2 is beta, and this is minus alpha minus beta. That is dimension of null space. Okay. So here x in C minus 1 independent variables, and then one can write du. What should I write du? You have your notes are handy with you. So can you please tell me from your notes? Can you please tell me from your notes? But property of differential calculus. What should I write du equals to? Dou u by dou s. Constant b x what? x1 to xc minus 1 ds plus dou u by dou v at constant s x1 to xc minus 1 plus summation
That should be
dv. Okay, j equals to 1 to c minus 1. What it should be? There are c minus 1 variables, so c minus 1, those terms, similar terms will be there. What will be those terms? I want the hand fast and then don't make it fist contact. Then it's getting confused. Only 2-3 people are raising hand all the time. That is not correct. I am teaching for the entire class. Don't make it 3 out of 40 class. Yes. Dou u by dou x j, and then what is the constant term? S comma b, then the other variables, no? Okay, shh. Please, I don't like the prompting and you are doing that. If you don't know the answer, you could have raised the hand, right? Okay. I am going to the kindergarten level. Only 2 unknowns for this situation. Can you tell me? Sir, yes. Can you tell me? 4 variables. There are 2 terms will be there. Next term will be? Dou u by dou x1. SB x2. You are very correct. Plus dx1. You are done. Then next is? Dou x2. SB x1 dx2. Okay. So now this will be going on. If we have up to xc minus 1, then this term will be there up to dou u by dou xc minus 1, and this will be x2 x3 up to xc minus 1, x1 x3 up to xc minus 1, and then it will be sb x1 up to xc minus 2. Remember that these things you can write in generalized way. Next step, dou u by dou s b x1 to xc minus 1 ds plus dou u by dou v x1 to xc minus 1 dv plus summation c minus 1 term will be there. Who will volunteer? I do only 2 hands. Yes, ma'am. Dou u by dou j. Dou u by dou xj.
At constant
S.
at constant xi, where I is not equal to j.
Xi I not equals to j. Sb dxj. You are very correct, madam. Xi I not equals to j. Okay. This term was not there in in your pure component first combined first and second law, this extra term, this term will not be coming. Is this chemical potential? Of course not. This is called as generalized chemical potential. This is called as, so we have learned a new term which is called as generalized chemical potential. Generalized chemical potential, which is defined as mu J star, which is rho U, rho Xj, SV, Xi, I not equals to J. Please look at the symbol. This is called as generalized chemical potential. What's the definition of chemical potential of ith component? When I say generalized, there should be the definition of chemical potential of ith component. So let's look at that perspective. Okay. In first law of thermodynamics, we have U equals to U hat SVN, pure substance. Multi-component substance. Multi-component substance. What should I write? Multi-component substance. C components. What should I write? Multi-component substance. What will be the bracket? What will be the bracket? What will be the bracket of the multi-component substance? So much. I think I am just like some kind of person who just like the shout and no response. SB N1 N2 question mark. Is it NC minus 1? Okay, let's look at this issue. This has to be resolved. My total number of mole is N. This will be same. Number of moles cannot be changed if I will. So it is N1, N2 up to Nc. See, when I write x1 up x2 up to xc, this is equals to 1. 1 is known, this number. 1 is known. This n is unknown, right? And that's why in pure substance we write du equals to rho u rho s dn ds plus rho u rho v s n dv plus rho u rho n SV dn. Why I am writing? Because n is unknown. My n is unknown. So how many total variables will be there? NC. So total number of variables is C plus 2 variables.
We can be making as N1 by N, N2 by N.
N. That means you are talking in terms of mole fraction. We are talking about mole fraction. Mole fraction is what? I am not talking in terms of specific variable. I am talking about extensive variable. Then you are doing specific variable. If you want to divide by n, then I last argue this also should be divided by n. It means USB and then number of variables reduced by 1. So if you represent in terms of specific variable, you are dealing with one less variable than the extensive format. Than the extensive format. Not clear. So the n you can write summation k equals to 1 to c into. And this we can write du equals to tbs minus pdv. These are first format, principle of combined first and second of thermodynamics. J equals to 1 to c, dou u by dou ni, SV Nj, J not equals to 1. Correct? This was called as chemical potential for pure component, right? This was called as chemical potential, right? This is called as chemical potential of higher component. So, analogically, we can have definition which is dou U dou Ni Sv Nj J not equals to I, right? So, now the situation is there are two terms, mu j star and mu I. You can write mu I star, no problem, dou U by dou Xi Sv Nj J not equals to I. Are they same? Next question come. So this part is clear. This combined first and second law of thermodynamics for the multi-component system, right? Okay. Next question comes. This we have not seen earlier in BTech level. You didn't even know that whether something called generalized chemical potential the first time. Are they same? If they are not same, what's the relationship?
It will be N into mu I.
See, the two things have to change. U and X is not that straightforward. We will come back on this. Okay? So this issue will be resolved by me. This will be resolved. Still question mark. If you go back to a class note, I am just going sequentially. After that, we talked about homogeneous function, right? After that, we talked about homogeneous function of the first order, second order, so on. And in pure substance, what we put? U lambda S, lambda B, lambda A equals to lambda U S B N. What will happen here? Will that be said? How to prove this? So, how to define your small s? We define S by N. N is what? K equals to 1 to C N K. Small b is capital B summation K equals to 1 to C N K. Right? Then how did you prove that type? You know that this is nothing but, right? This is the definition. Pure substance I am talking about. You have your class note. Next step. We had N, you had S by N, B by N. You are not telling me anything because I don't have notes. I am remembering what we did. And that shows it is nothing but you had SVN. SVN. Similarly, for the other part, left hand side, you can write lambda N molecule into you have SP. By definition, the specific property doesn't matter molecules, no number of moles change or not. You have to multiply it one number of moles. One number of moles is unknown. Right? Then lambda N you had. So if you write S, that means what? It will be right? And you can just see that the same kind of thing actually we have done earlier, right? So now what will actually happen? What will actually happen for the multi-component substance. The same way, multi-component substance, we just have other terms, SB, X1 to Xj, and if you want to multiply, then you can just see that the homogeneous function of the first order will be still valid. Homogeneous function of the first order will be still valid. What will actually happen? You may argue on that. I was expecting a question, at least from you two guys. Sir, it will be Xj minus 1, then how can you write it will be up to Nj? But the question actually, you have caught me. I was actually afraid to be caught here, but I was not caught by you. But I am catching myself. Okay? What actually happened? U equals to lambda n. You had SV x1 up to xc minus 1. So you can say lambda n, you had lambda s by lambda n, lambda b by lambda n, then this is n1 by n, and this is nc minus 1 by n. So, but my point was u equals to sb up to nc, is coming nc minus 1. Then I am not justifying my original statement. My thermodynamics, first law of thermodynamics says that u is the function of sb n1 to nc, but you are getting nc minus 1. But remember that this is summation k equals to 1 to c in k. This has got nc. That's why this is the function of sb n1 to nc. Found that clear? Yes? 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 Any confusion? Yes? Clear? Clear? So that's why it is called, although it is nc minus 1, we are having nc. Okay. So we are going by the sequential procedure what we have done. So next things come. We know that du equals to TdS minus PdV plus mu dn. When we talk about du, we wrote TdS minus PdV for the pure substance. What will happen for the multi-component substance? Right? That's the next thing, right? I am just going sequential. So this T is defined as dou U by dou S V, I'll say n bar. N is a vector, n bar. Component N1 to Nc, n bar. Okay. You have to express in terms of dou U by dou small s bar. We know that U equals to n u hat. The same approach. And just follow your class note. We have the old class note book. Follow it. So you have dou S in U hat, and then dou S by dou S V n bar. Am I correct? Same thing. What you have done. This n is coming out because n is constant. So n is coming out with dou U by dou S. And we have dou S by dou S. What is S? S is S by summation k equals to 1 to c in k. So dou S by dou S. So n bar is constant means the entire thing is constant. So what will you get? We'll get right the same thing what we have done earlier. And v n bars for the specific variable will be like small v, and x bar, and x bar is defined as x1 to xc minus 2, which is this t. That means for the specific variable representation, we can write the expression as du equals, same thing you can do for another term. I am not deriving it here, you can do it yourself. Summation j equals to 1 to c minus 1 mu j star dxj. Remember that first law, combined first and second law for mixture is originally du equals to TdS minus PdV summation I equals to 1 to c mu I dni, whereas the specific representation TdS minus PdV j equals to 1 to c minus 1 mu j star dxj. Right? Yes. So far everything going fine what we are doing. So far everything is okay, right? It is easy to resolve This term, it is easy to resolve. This term also, dou u by dou v s n bar. We will see, if you prove it, you can see that dou u by dou v s x bar, which will be your minus p, right? That can be proved. I won't do it. You can do the same. Last term is remaining, which is dou u by dou n I s v n j, j not equals to 1. This is a dangerous term. It is not that straightforward. Please have your this thing handy. Have done it for the first one. Pure substance, combined first and second one. This is there. Dou u by dou n, where you actually found that relationship u plus pb minus ts. I proved it. First time I proved from this dou u by dou n. Did you get it from your old class note? You don't have old class note. You don't carry. Where is your old class note? Yeah. Why you are sitting idle? Do you think I'm just like barking dog? Okay, it's your choice, not my choice. Whether you want to learn, it is your choice, not my choice. At least 2-3 people want to learn. They're really digging out. Rahul, did you get it?
Yes.
Yes, Devan?
Yes.
Okay. First bench, what's about? You got it? Please, you don't have the notebook, right? Yeah, you don't. That's what. I don't force you to learn. At least if 2-3 people learn, I'll be very happy. What's about third bench, sir? Do you have those notes? Okay, now you can help me, the steps. I'll take your help. I don't have the old notes. Okay, so I'll take your help. That's okay, we'll also learn. So let's start now. You have understood, right, everything? What is that? Yes. Okay. Be brave, you can do it. Okay. We have to find out dou u, dou ni, v, n, j not equals to y, which is nothing but mu y. Okay. What's the first step? You have the notes. First step. I will just exactly follow. If I don't follow, you won't understand. First step. Yeah. Dou n I here. I'll change it. The pure substance you have the notes. I won't repeat it. Then what is that? N u hat. Okay. What's the function? S v x1 to right. Before that, I just want to state here u equals to n u hat s v x1 to xc minus 1, and n is nothing but summation I k equals to 1 to c n k. U hat s is the function of s n bar. Summation k equals to 1 to c n k bar. Understood? This is nothing but s hat s n bar, because it has n1 plus n2 plus n3 up to nk nc. So all the vectors will come. Similarly, v equals to v hat n bar. x1 will be x1 hat. Which component? x1 also I can write the same way, right? x1 also I can write the same way. What is that? Function, independent function. Only raise the hand. Not Rahul. Not Rahul. Anybody? What's the function of x1 equals to what?
X2, X3.
x1 equals to x2, x3. Don't say that. x1 is defined as what? Mole fraction. How do you define? Mole fraction, Deva. No idea. Mole fraction. I am asking Deva. No idea. Yeah. Mole fraction, the name. I am asking for definition. If I say mole fraction in the class, will you be happy? You won't be happy. What's the definition? Mole fraction is defined by
Number of the first component by total number.
What's the mathematical symbol here? Number of mole in the first component. How do you define mathematically?
In 1.
Divided by
Total NK.
nk is total. Please don't prompt. I am going kindergarten level. That's my challenge. Teach thermodynamics the kindergarten level. What is Nk? When I write, so he is posing a difficult situation now. He is saying K equals to 1 to C. What is Nk?
So K is 1 to C.
So it will be, so x1 we defined as
N by NC.
N by Nc. C is the Cn component. This is, if I write it, N1 plus N2 plus N3 plus Nc. Shh. Sir, I am not asking you. That I don't like. He has to learn. If you do that, you are not helping your friend. Because this is my challenge to teach thermodynamics at kindergarten level. Yes, sir. Please look at the board. What's your definition? What's the total number of moles?
Sir, N1 plus N2.
Not total number of moles is what? What's the mathematical symbol?
N.
N. So what's the x1?
So N1 by N.
So it took so much time. It took so much time. So what's the x1? What should I write here?
So N1 by N.
Function is n1 by x. Do I write function as s by n? They don't apply the brain. I just fall here if you do that. I'm helping you. What? It is nothing. You know basic mathematics. If I say expression z equals to x by y, I cannot say function x by y. I say function x comma y.
So N.
What is that? It will be what?
So N comma N.
N comma n, the two n's. You are saying n comma n. Don't prompt it. What's the problem? You are having some problem to understand? N comma n you are saying. What is n comma n? You are saying n comma n. Why do you have two n?
Sir, I am telling N1, comma N.
And n is the function of what? N2, Nc. So this is x1 hat n bar. I was writing this way. That means I should have explained to you why I am writing n bar. I thought you were taking mathematical representation engineering. I am sorry. Because since you are doing based underneath, your basics are not clear, I don't know how you will be doing theoretical work. I am really afraid. Okay. x1 hat is clear. x2 will be how much? x2 hat, then function of n bar. Yes, understood. Thank you. Then xc equals to xc bar, xc minus 1, xc1 bar by n bar. So you can write this as V, capital V n bar, x1 n1 n bar, x2 n bar, and xc minus 1 n bar. Correct? Now we'll go for dou u by dou n. You have your notes handy. Equals to, there are so many variables. Here, one variable. Here, c minus 1 plus 2 c plus 1 variables. Please remember chain rule of differentiation. Please remember chain rule of differentiation. What is the first step? Third bench. Third bench. Yes, you are only volunteering me. What's the first step? Dou u by dou s. No, must you take first n constant. N take outside. Or you can take u hat outside. I take first step easier. You take u hat outside, then you get what? Dou ni of n. Am I correct? Dou to x of uv. Okay? V is here, u is here, I am taking respect to. What is this term? How much it is? 1. Why? Why 1? It is not dou to n of n. It is dou to ni of n. Why it is 1? Why it is 1? My God. up to NC. If you say dou Ni, then this dou N1 by dou Ni, dou N2 by dou Ni, plus here Ni term will be there, dou Ni by dou Ni, it will go dou Nc by dou Ni. All will be going to 0. This is 1, this is 0, that's why this is 1. It requires so much. It is not that straightforward. Okay. Next term. Plus, now N will come outside. What we are talking. In bracket, you have the class notes. Try to see whether you can follow from there. And like third bracket. How many terms will be the periodic? Tell me first. How many terms? C plus? Do you know the answer, yes or no? C plus 1 terms will be there because C minus 1 here and plus 1 C plus 1. Yeah, chain rule of differentiation you have to do here, right? So tell me the first two terms first, and then other terms will be coming as summation. Tell me first, what term will come first? Dou U hat by dou Ni. You are doing chain rule of differentiation. You are doing chain rule of differentiation. You have the notes with you. You cannot do. Am I sure? Dou U hat. Dou U hat dou S.
Then dou S dou U.
Dou S dou Ni, because I am doing with respect to Ni, plus
dou U hat dou V.
Dou U hat dou V, dou V, dou Ni, plus I am putting summation j equals to 1 to C minus 1. C minus 1 term will be there. And by now you should know how to write in generalized format. By now you should know how to have in generalized format. Devan, it's going out the head. Yes, can you tell me you are trying to volunteer? Now you can. Sir, no idea. You have your class notes with you? Dou U by dou Xj, dou Xj by dou Nj, dou Ni. So easy, over. Now, before that is the next step, I will write dou S, you know this term. This is actually, so this is entire thing at constant SV N bar. Not N bar, I think yes. It is constant SV Nj. J not equals to. Right? From our combined first and second of order. And this if you write, you can write U hat plus N. You can write this as dou U hat dou S. What should be constant here? V. Because when you write, because this has S, V and J. Okay? So you can use as we have done earlier. So S cannot be constant here. Right? S cannot be constant there. So what we will have? We will have V constant and S and Nj bar will be going to X bar. And what is the constant here? Dou S by dou Ni. What is the constant here? You have three constants, S, V, and J. Two you have taken. What else is remaining? S, capital S, not the small s. Am I correct? Yes. Similarly, dou U hat dou V. What should be constant? Because you can write this as T, right? You have proved it just now. What should be constant here? S, X bar. Then what should we write? Dou V by dou Ni? V plus j equals to 1 to c dou u dou x j dou x j dou ni. We can write entire thing as SB and j not equals to 1. Bracket closed. Funda clear? So these two things we know that this is minus 3. This thing I think I have taught earlier in the first, the pure component, right? How to swap it, otherwise you cannot just like that write. The swapping part is very, very important. Now what is dou s by dou ni? At constant s, what is s small s? S by summation k equals to 1 to e, k equals to 1 to c and k. Now the n is not constant, n is changing, s is constant. What is this quantity? Dou s by dou n at constant s, capital S. S is going, fine. Some term will be there. Pardon? Minus 1 by n square, I got one answer. Any other answer? Any other answer? This you can write as s by n. So what should I do? We will say that dou n of 1 by n into I think you can directly do it. I don't want to go to that fundamental.